Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Codeman Movies. I'm going to tell you up front, I didn't get to see a whole heck of a lot of movies, and I will explain a little bit towards the end why. And I'll just explain a little bit towards the beginning here. Next week, I am going to South Carolina. I'm checking out places to live and have a couple job interviews. Hopefully, moving down to somewhere warm because it is cold here, which is why I'm wearing my bathrobe because it is kind of cold. So yeah, that's why I'm wearing a bathrobe. Although it's kind of a cool look. It's Codeman Movies. We're casual, we're cool, we're groovy. I don't know. I am not wearing pants though, so keep your eyes up. Okay, talking to you, right there. I see you. I see you. Yeah. Anyways, guys. So not a whole heck of a lot of movies to talk about. I'll explain a little bit more later. Other reasons why I'm not. Besides the fact that I'm going to South Carolina, I was working. I've been working a little extra, doing my cleaning business a little extra. People really want me to clean their houses before I leave forever. I'm bumping my microphone now. I hope you're not hearing that. Oh well, life goes on. I'm going to move this. Hold on. I didn't turn it off, did I? Okay. Can you hear me? I am Cody. I am Cody. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I think you can hear me. Okay. Anyways, guys. So yeah, just been really busy with stuff lately, so just haven't had a whole heck of a lot of chance to watch some movies, and have a little bit more conversation of why I didn't watch movies a little later on. Before we start, guys, grab yourself a beverage. Doesn't have to be alcoholic. Mine is. It is a truly seltzer mixed with some tonic water. It's actually pretty good. I think it's fruit punch. Truly, not bad. Something light because I am doing this at night before I have to work in the morning, and I actually have some more interviews, virtual interviews tomorrow. So yeah, I don't want to be too tipsy. So yeah, guys, without further ado, though, let's start talking some movies, shall we? First up, guys, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I absolutely love this movie, guys. This is a great holiday classic. It's more of a Thanksgiving movie than it is a Christmas movie, but I also think of this movie kind of as a Christmas movie. Maybe just stop calling them Christmas movies. I call them just holiday movies. I don't know. I absolutely love this movie. Steve Martin and John Candy are absolutely great in this movie. They're both legends. Hold on, this microphone's really bugging me right now. Maybe if I just clip it on... I have this nicer shirt here. Just clip it on this side. I need it on this side. Is that a little too close now, though? I don't know. If it is, you'll let me know, right? Oh, nope, I don't like it. Hold on. Okay, here we go. That's a little better. Okay. I love Steve Martin and John Candy in this movie. They're absolutely perfect for their roles. And I love how you kind of side with both characters in this movie. Steve Martin's character, what's his name? Neil. He's kind of impatient. He's kind of rude. He's kind of snappy. But at the same time, he's just trying to get home to spend time with his kids for Thanksgiving, spend time with his wife for Thanksgiving. So you kind of understand it. Like, you would kind of be impatient and crabby and cranky, especially if your airplane did what it did and the train did what it did, and then, the automobiles did what it did. You kind of feel for him. At the same time, he is kind of rude. The other character is, what's his name? Dell. He is so annoying at times and so disgusting and such a pain in the butt at times that again, you feel for Neil. But at the same time, he's just this super nice guy. Yes, he has some boundary issues. Yes, he needs to learn to clean up after himself in the bathroom and leave a towel for other people. Like, at the same time, he is kind of a dickwad too, because he's just, I don't know, he's just, yeah. And then there's that wonderful speech where he's like, I love who I am, my wife loves me, and blah, 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 blah. Such great characters, such great moments that they have together. And you just understand why they are the way they are. One's trying to get home, one's just being themselves. It is what it is. Both people are good, but both have things about them that you just, the movie is also hilarious. The rant at the the rental car place where Steve Martin is just laying down the F-bomb every 2 seconds. I absolutely love it. I want a vehicle. I won't swear, but I want a vehicle. I want something with 2 wheels and a seat. 4 wheels and a seat. I don't know. I just absolutely love that rant. There's also the thing with the bed where they're just in the bed together. It's also of its time in the sense that, homophobia, but it's still funny. The car ride where they're driving the wrong side of the road, absolutely great. It's just hilarious. This movie's also heartwarming as well. By the end of the movie, it really truly is this heartwarming, beautiful, bittersweet kind of tale, and it's perfect. It really is. I love that. And I love the conversations that they have that just kind of bring them together. John Candy's character talking about his past and his wife and his sales, and then Steve Martin's character just talking about his family, what he's done for a living. Just all the little conversations they have are great. And then I love that it ends in Chicago. Seeing the skyline at the end, it has changed. Holy cow. It has changed from the 80s to now, and it's just insane. I don't think I wasn't alive in the 80s. I think the first time I went to Chicago might have been late 2010. So, holy cow, has Chicago changed. But I think that's part of the reason why I love Chicago. It just changes, and I love it. Something new to see every time. But guys, this is such a great movie. It's so funny. Some incredible moments. It's such a good movie, guys. I don't know what else to say about this movie except that it's incredible, and I love it, and I laugh every time I watch it, and it's one of the better holiday movies. I absolutely love it. I'll give this movie like a 9 out of 10. There's some weird, goofy things that happen, and then there's just some things that don't make sense sometimes. Well, they make sense. Why is the guy robbing them? I believe, from what I've heard, that there's like a 3-hour long cut of this movie, and a lot of things are explained with some deleted scenes and such. I don't know about that. I know that actually exists. That's true. It's been reported that and such, but I don't know if it would make the movie better, a 3-hour long version of it. Like, I love kind of that this movie is just a tight hour and a half, 90 minutes. Like, it's great in that sense. But yeah, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, guys. If you haven't seen this one, check it out. Next up, guys, is The Terminator. We watched this movie in film club. The category was robots, which is kind of funny because later on in the movie, John Connor says he's not a robot, he's a cybernism. What does he say? What does he call it? I forget. It's what is it? He's a cybernetic organism or something. I don't know. Point is, he's technically not a robot. But anyways, guys, Terminator, it's a classic. I love this movie. I'm just going to put it out there right away. This movie is so good. I love how small scale this movie feels by also feeling really big. I believe this movie had a really teeny tiny budget for its time, and it just looks like it's huge, and it's not. And I just kind of love how big it feels, even though it really is kind of small scale. It's very simple. It's just thing trying to kill woman, and it's so simple. I love how this is also kind of like a science fiction horror film. It really is just terrifying. It's like Michael Myers chasing down Laurie Strode, except, it's a T-1000 chasing down Sarah Connor. Sarah, I'll be back. I can't really do Schwarzenegger, except during bingo, I do bingo. I have bingo call. I don't know if you didn't know that, but I go, B9. It's not a tumor. It's just B9. And that's about as good as Arnold Schwarzenegger I do. And I do it, I don't do it every week, but most of the time, whenever I do bingo, I say B9, it's not tumor. So I do Arnold Schwarzenegger voice. And that's about as good as it gets. Anyways, guys, I love how it feels very just horror science fiction. And I love that about it. The practical effects in this movie are absolutely fantastic. There's one shot where you can tell Arnie's face is just like rubber, but other than that, it's so beautifully done for its time. So great. I just think they really do hold up. Arnie does such a great job of just kind of being this stiff, robotic kind of person. Could that be the fact that he's not the greatest actor in the world? Maybe, but it works for this movie. It really does. And I just love how simple it is. This movie at the end of the day is so simple. And it's not overly long. It's like, I think it's almost about 2 hours. Such a great movie, though. So simple. And I love the small glimpses that we get of the future, kind of showing, the not so small scale stuff, these big explosions and stuff. And then we just go back to the real world, or the present, I should say. Tension in this movie is absolutely perfect. All technical aspects, the cinematography, the score, the writing, the editing, the direction from James Cameron. He is such a great director. I hear he can be a bit of a douchebag, but he makes some pretty dang good movies. I will give him that. Trying to think of a negative for this movie. I think the pacing maybe could be done better. I don't think the movie is too long, but I think there's moments that the pacing just kind of slows the movie down a little bit. There's also a really strange sex scene. Has James Cameron ever had sex? I mean, he's married to one of the women in this movie. He married Sarah Connors. Has he ever had sex, though? Because that's a weird sex scene. Anyways, guys, Terminator, nearly perfect movie. I'm going to give this movie a 9 out of 10, same as I did the last one. This is such a good movie, guys, and it is so, again, it's just small scale and simple, and I love it. I love this movie. I really do. I need another drink. How you guys doing? What are you drinking? Comment down below. Tell me what you're drinking. Come on, guys. Talk a little bit. You antisocial little people, you. Next up, guys, Mean Girls. This was a movie that our film group had watched before I joined film group, and I don't remember what the category was. I think high school movies or something like that. Anyways, guys, I love this movie. This movie's a classic. Guys, I think I'm only talking about movies I love this week. That's great. It's such a positive thing. It's great. Right from the start, guys, the humor in this movie is so wonderful. I absolutely love the humor in this movie. And on the sixth day, God gave us the rifle to kill the homosexuals. Like, it's kind of making fun of gay. It's not an offensive gay joke. I'm not gay, so I guess I wouldn't know if it's offensive. But I don't think it's an offensive gay joke. It's just hilarious right from the start. And just, it's Caddy. I think it's Caddy. Can't remember. Katie or Caddy? I think it's Caddy. I think everyone calls her Katie, and it's Caddy. Anyways, right from the beginning, like, Katie just talking about her life is just so interesting, and right from the start, the movie's just hilarious. The thing with her parents, before she goes to school, crosses the street, nearly gets hit by a bus, kind of predicting the end of the movie where someone actually does get hit by a bus. This movie's just got such great humor. The life of a high schooler in this movie, it's very over the top in a sense that everyone's kind of like a cartoon character in this movie, but it is kind of real. Like, in high school, you really do have the people that just hang out with each other. You have all the cliques and the groups, and usually there's like one thing that they have in common, and it is totally shown in this movie, and I just think it's shown so beautifully well in this movie. I really do. It's just so true to life, in my opinion. I think that. I just really do. Caddy going from homeschool to high school, it's so interesting to see that. Personally, for me, I've never met someone who went from homeschooling to high school. I've known people who've gone from like homeschooling in elementary school to middle school, which is still kind of a interesting thing. But to have someone be 16 and going to school, public school for the first time, that is such an interesting thing. And I love that in this movie. And I love this perspective we get. And it is kind of interesting to me. I started high school in a different school. I literally moved 2 hours away from elementary, middle school, and started high school in this place. And I immediately got accepted into the friend group of the burnout, not the burnouts, kind of similar to who Caddy and Katie, we're going to call her Caddy, how Caddy ends up being friends with. They're not exactly popular kids, but they're still kind of accepted by some people. And that's kind of the group that I kind of ended up getting thrown into in freshman year of high school. And so I kind of related to that in that sense, and I really like that. I just like that perspective of it, and I just think it feels very real. The movie does such a great job of just balancing tones as well. It, there are definitely moments of like serious high school stuff and just serious stuff that happens, but at the same time, there's such great humor that is put in. For example, like the end when there's this burn book, and it is a serious, serious thing, but they can do the little pratfall things that are, it's just hilarious. And the things the students say before jumping is hilarious as well. The one girl from the other school that's like, I just wish we could all be friends again and that the world was made out of rainbows and butterflies. And I absolutely love that bit. Just all that stuff. It's great. It just does such a great job balancing humor and not going too over the top. It's such a great coming of age movie too. Like I said, it's a movie that really relates to me in the sense that I was new to a high school, and Caddy is new to a high school. There's just so many great lines in this movie too. That's so fetch. Who doesn't say that? I mean, everyone says that's so fetch. Just so many great lines. So many laugh out loud moments. I've seen this movie 100 times, and I still laugh every time after watching it. It's so funny. Characters in this movie are so great. They feel real. You definitely know people like this. You know some mean girls. You do. You absolutely knew mean girls. I don't know. I don't care if you're from a school that has 10,000 students in it or 10 students in it. You know a mean girl in school. Uh, yeah, I just feel like it got all aspects of people right. And I think it comes down to the writing. Tina Fey, I believe, co-wrote this. Such a great job. I absolutely love the writing in this movie. All the acting is great. And you know what? This movie is female led, and it's great. I can be a dude and love Mean Girls. And I know there's plenty of dudes out there that love Mean Girls. So you know what? Chick flicks can be awesome. Hell yeah, I'm a dude and I said that. As far as negatives go, this movie can be a little cartoony at times, a little over the top, and definitely a little cheesy and predictable. The little end bit where she's throwing out pieces of crown, while it is kind of nice and aw, that's great. What a great little metaphor. It's very cheesy. It's very at times. But other than that, guys, this is such a good comedy. This is one of those movies you watch when you're not feeling the greatest or you're having a bad day. Because in this movie, Caddy goes through some bad days, but it shows you that, you know what, life's going to be all right. And I love by the end of this movie that everyone's just like, okay, this is enough. Let's all just accept each other and be who we are and mingle together. There's nothing wrong with that. And I love that. So I'll give this movie, I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. I almost want to go 9 with it, but there are just some of those really bad cartoony moments. What's her face's mom, played by Amy Poehler, is a little too over the top for me. She's just a cartoon character, and it's a little out of place. I love her. I love the jokes. Don't get me wrong with Amy Poehler in this movie, but it's a little too much. She's hamming it up a little too much, but still good. I love this movie. 8 out of 10. Next up, guys, the one movie I saw in the theater this week. I saw Violent Night. I saw this yesterday, Monday night. And you know, I went into this movie going, okay, I think it's from the producers of John Wick, isn't it? Anyways, just from the trailers alone, I went, this is kind of John Wick, but with Santa. And it's more of Die Hard with Santa, with a little bit of Home Alone in there, and yeah, a little bit of John Wick too, because this movie is extremely violent. The title does not lie. This movie is violent as hell. And there are some moments that are very John Wicky in the sense that, like, you know, he kills a guy with a star from the top of a tree and he throws it in his eyeball. It seemed very, icicles. People get killed with icicles in this movie. Felt very John Wicky in the sense that John Wick kills a guy with a freaking pencil. So that's a little bit what this felt like. I gotta say right from the start, guys, this movie is so much fun. I could not believe how much fun I was having. I could not believe how much I was laughing The humor in this is absolutely great. Like I said, violent as hell. Uh, yeah, violent as hell. There's moments where I was like, oh my gosh, oh my god, like it's violent. David Harbour is absolutely great as Santa. I absolutely loved him in this movie. His Santa at the beginning of the movie is just kind of done and wants a reason to quit being Santa. And by the end of this movie, he's kind of like redeemed. And I kind of like that it's a Santa redemption story. That's great. Uh, there's a little girl in this movie. She's absolutely great. Her and Santa are kind of like partners in crime, and I love the chemistry between them. John Leguizamo, who's also in John Wick, which is also probably why it gives me some more John Wick vibes. He is such a great villain. He knows what movie. I think everyone, for the most part, kind of knows what kind of movie this is, and that's the biggest compliment I can give this movie. It knows what kind of movie it is. It knows it's just a violent, fun Santa movie. It's not trying to win any Oscars here. It's just trying to have fun. And it is fun. Holy crap, is this movie fun. I think all the other acting kind of sucks. It's nothing spectacular. Part of it is they're not given a lot to do. And when they are, they're just, everyone else in this movie is kind of terrible. Santa's kind of a terrible person in himself, but he's redeemed. The little girl is absolutely wonderful. Her mom's kind of okay. And then everyone else in this movie is just kind of garbage human beings, and they all deserve to die. And I think that's part of the reason why I didn't love some of the other remaining characters. They were just nothing good about them. There was nothing positive I could find about them. It was just kind of, they're and I didn't like them. So that was unfortunate. What else can I say about this movie? It is a little long. I think it could have maybe been chopped down 10, 15 minutes. A tight hour and 30-minute movie. Kind of similar to Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. It needed to be a 90-minute movie, and that's it. I mean, it's about an hour 40, so it's not that much over, but still, I felt the drag of it a little bit. What other things can I say here? Was it predictable? Yes. There's a scene at the end of the movie, and you just kind of know what's going to happen when it happens. Yeah, that's about it, guys. It was a little long. Characters unlikable, and it's just a little predictable, but it's fun. It knows what it is, and I appreciate it for that in that aspect. Guys, I really, really enjoyed this movie. I kind of want to go see it in a theater again. And with a bigger crowd, I think there was 3 people in the theater with me. I kind of want to go see it on a packed night. It is so much fun, and I enjoyed every second of it. Well, not every second, because it was a little long and such like that. But anyways, besides that, guys, this is a really fun movie. I think you should check it out. I will give this one, I want to say 8, but I think I'm going to go with a 7. It's still a really good movie. And this is very different than, like, I think Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, I give a 7 to. There's a lot of things about that movie I really liked, and some things I really disliked. The things I disliked in this movie are harder for me to dislike because it's not being serious. It knows what it is. Black Panther is trying to be this serious, lots of emotion kind of movie. So in this sense, that's a positive score. Yeah. I don't know what else to say to that. All right, guys, and that's all the movies I saw this week. So the reason why I haven't been watching as many movies, at least this week, was because of this show, Shameless. Now, I don't usually talk about shows until they're completely over. However, there's 11 seasons of this show, and just after I'm almost done with 7, I think I'm working on 8 now. But after just 6 seasons, there is so much to talk about with this show. So much to talk about, and just so much to talk about. So I have to talk about seasons 1 through 6 of Shameless. We'll do 6 through 11 when I finish the show, and we'll do it like that. So first of all, guys, all the acting in this show is brilliant. There's not a single performance in this show that I find bad. A couple of the side characters, maybe, but they're only in episode, a couple episodes, and that's about it. But I think all the acting is great. Something I really love about this show is the fact at one point or another during the show, I hate every single person in the cast. They do something, they say something, and I hate them. And I'm like, okay, you are done. I can never like you ever again. But even like later on in the episode, they'll do something that makes me understand why they did what they did. And I feel for them and I like them again. And at one point in the show, I've loved every single one of these characters. And I love that is doing that for me. A lot of times, movies and TV shows and such where their people are terrible, I just can't stand it. Violent Night was an example of that. The family in the movie just took me right out. I could not stand the scenes where we were with this obnoxious, rich butthead of a family. This show has terrible people, but you just end up loving them, and I love that. I just love that. Fiona, for example, she does some crappy things. She cheats on so many different boyfriends, fiancés, husband, but by the end, you just understand. She is so overwhelmed. She never gets to do anything for herself. And when she does do stuff for herself, her family gets so angry at her. So angry. And Fiona rightfully comes back out and says, you know what? I raised you guys starting at like 11. I didn't necessarily choose this. I could have went and did something else. I stayed with you guys. You guys are becoming adults now. You guys are getting older. You can pull your damn weight around here. And I love that about Fiona. And I really feel for her in that sense. I struggle to do things for myself. I struggle to go get a morning coffee. I feel so guilty, so terrible about going to get a morning coffee because I spent my money on something I didn't need to spend it on. But I'm doing it for myself. I shouldn't be guilty about it. And that goes back to, again, same with Fiona. Her upbringing wasn't great. My upbringing, my parents did not spend anything. They were constantly cranky, crabby. This robe is actually getting kind of hot. Ugh, I'm taking this off. Oh, anyways, my parents would not spend any money unless absolutely necessary. And because they wanted to save up for retirement. And it's the same for me. Like, I feel so guilty of going to get something for myself, and I shouldn't. I hate that I do. So that's one example of one of the characters that I love that about the show. There's also some really great dark humor in this show. I have laughed many different times and have like rewound back to just listen to a line that is said because it's so hilarious, so beautifully delivered, so smartly delivered. Acting is just great. Like, an example of this too is like Debbie in the first season steals a baby because she wants a baby. And I love that. It is so hilarious because this poor innocent little girl just wants a friend. She wants a baby. And so she steals one. So why not? It's so bad, but it's also so hilarious that happens. I would say some things about the show are a little unrealistic. There are things that characters do that they should be in prison for like life, if not life, a long time, and they're out by the end of the next episode, or they find a way around it, or something or another. There's just some unrealistic things that are happening. And there's no way that these kids would still be living in the house that they're living in. I just don't buy that for a second. There are so many things, so many signs. I mean, the dad's a drunk. He's never home. There's drugs in the house. There's like 4 people to a room. Just no way that this would happen. The house is disgusting. No way. I don't buy it for a second. But you get over it. You go with it because it's just such a great... The writing in this is so good. What else can I say? I will say Joan Cusack is in, I think, what was it? She was in through 6. And it sucked when she left. I'm so glad her character, like, I understood why she left. I mean, I think I got my move goal or something. My watch just went off. Anyways, her character was so great. I love I love the growth that her character goes through, being this germaphobe that can't even go outside. And then by the end, spoilers, by the way, if you haven't seen this show, light spoilers. Well, they're not really light spoilers. Joan Cusack's character rides off in an RV and goes and lives her life. She feels very similar to Fiona in the sense she's constantly doing for others and not herself. And I love that by the end of her departure, she goes and does something for herself. I hope she comes back. I don't think she does, just looking at IMDb. And that's unfortunate. I wish they could have gotten her back. I wonder if there's a reason that she didn't come back. Who knows? But I love Joan Cusack, and I miss her character so much. I just thought Sheila was such an interesting, fascinating character, and I loved it. I absolutely hated Carl as a pimp in season 6. It was just a little too ridiculous, too dumb, and I didn't buy it. Like, I get it. The kid wanted to go to prison and be a badass, but like, I just didn't buy that character arc from him, and I'm glad it ended. I think the reason that it ended too was really solid. His friend doing what he did, and yeah. Let's see what else. Also, Ian's presence being gone in like it was like half a season almost. You felt his presence just gone, and I hated that. I really like Ian as a character. He just it seems like he wants to do a lot of good, but because of his situation where he's at, he sometimes has to do some bad. And I think was it season 6 too, where the bipolar stuff comes in. I just feel bad for Ian at times, but I think he is such a strong, interesting character, and I'm excited where we see him go. Because how old is he now? In season 6, he's what, 17, 18, something like that. So yeah, I hated when he was gone. I'm glad he's back, and I just love that. And you know, guys, it really is a good show. Lip is an interesting character. He's one of the characters that I just every time I'm watching, like, dude, come on, you're smarter than this. So I enjoy Lip. He's not my favorite. Debbie is a character for the first 4 or 5 seasons I absolutely loved. And then she basically raped a guy, and I stopped liking her as much, and she's kind of been going up and down throughout the last couple seasons. But I thought she was wonderful as a child. And now as she's growing into a teenager, I'm starting to hate her a bit. Carl is not someone I like. He is going to be a serial killer someday. That's what I think the last episode is going to be him killing somebody. That's my thoughts. Frank, what's his name? John, is it John H. Macy? John H. Macy? Something like that. Anyways, Frank is such a hilarious character. I hate him. I really do. He's a terrible father. Fiona, I've kind of already talked about her. I relate to her the most, I think, in the sense I struggled to take care of myself and do good for myself. V and Kevin's relationship is so interesting. I hated when they turned into a throuple. I just didn't. No, I didn't. I liked them as a couple. I hope. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with this throuple thing. Or wait, I have known. Anyways, we'll probably talk more about that later on. But I love Kevin and V together. They're hilarious. Kevin he has such great lines. There's so many amazing things that I've just rewound and listened to him do. And then Ian is a great character as well. I love that we have a gay character in the show. And I love that it's not shying away from anything. And there's Liam, of course. Liam has been a baby throughout most of this so far. He hasn't said much or done much, but he's the cool interracial baby. I like that too. There's some diversity in this family. So yeah, I just love everything about this, how they're this tight-knit family. They argue a lot, but at the end of the day, they really care about each other, and they're there for each other. They'll be there for you when the rain starts to pour. Yeah, this is like, this family, I could see the Friends theme song with this family. That was a weird side rant. Anyways, guys, I started watching this the day I got back from Chicago. It would have been, what, the 13th of November? And it is now December 5th. So within less than a month, I have gone through 7 seasons almost, nearly 8. And I'm just addicted to this show and I can't stop watching. And there are nights where I'm like, okay, one more episode. The episode gets done at midnight. There's a big cliffhanger. I go, okay, one more episode. And sometimes I stay up to 2, 3 in the morning. But it's fine because the show will end eventually and then I can go back to sleep. So, who cares? As far as movies coming out this week, guys, there really isn't much. I don't think there's anything new coming to theaters. So that's unfortunate. I believe, let's see. The next week is Avatar, I think. And I think I'll be in South Carolina, so I'll be able to see it in South Carolina probably. Yeah, guys, there's not much coming out. There's some things I believe coming out on Netflix. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio is coming to Netflix. I talked about that last week. If you want to review that, look on last week's episode. But check that out on Netflix. I'm trying to think if there's any other things really coming. I don't think there's much. It's going to be kind of a boring week. I work during the day this week, so maybe at night I'll be able to watch a few movies. I don't know when I will have the next episode up with me leaving and me working the daytime. We will see how much time I have. I would like to do an extra video this week. I kind of want to rank the superhero movies that came out this year. I kind of want to do a video on Christmas movies. By the end of this year, I'll have a top 10 for sure, a top 10 worst of the movies, top 10 upcoming movies. So lots of videos coming. Guys, we got 70 subscribers as of this week as well. So that's really awesome. I don't think I even had 20 subscribers at the start of this year. So 50 more subscribers this year. That's awesome. And we're not even done. So let's see if we can get up to 80. Let's just go up to 80. By next week, let's be at 75. The week after that, 80. And then that's almost the end of the year. And if we're at 80 by the end of the year, I'll be quite happy. That would be great. So yeah, guys, I hope you are having a good time. This is probably a little bit of a shorter video. I mean, I kind of went on a rant with Shamless. 30 minutes, 37 minutes. That's not bad. But other than that, guys, I hope you have yourself a really great week. I need to just drink the rest of this. I hope you guys have a great week. Stay warm. It's currently like 20 degrees where I'm at right now, and it sucks. Thank God for heat, right? But I hope you guys have a great week. Do something awesome. Do something fun. All that fun jazz. And yeah, stay warm. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. All that fun jazz. Yeah. And put on your bathrobe because it's cold. And you know what? Don't wear pants. It's fun. Woo! No pants. No pants. No pants. Woo, 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 woo. What the hell? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm crazy.